السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Assalamu
Walaikum
alaikum.
salam.
How was that? Did that sound really serious or what?
Salam.
Did that sound very forceful? That Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How is everyone going?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
What's happening? What's new, gentlemen, in your world? Talk to me.
My brother got married, alhamdulillah.
Mabruk.
So,
Mabruk, mashallah.
yeah, mashallah.
Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. He's happy married and mashallah.
How many
He
days?
started- it's been a week. So
Yeah, that's
he
way
started. It's not really like they haven't, moved out all that. But nikah was done. And
Inshallah.
mashallah. So it was good food, good company. And mashallah. On the other side of town, I literally become musafir when I have to go. So
Is that right?
I hope they come
Oh,
this
of
way,
course.
the family visits and all that, mashallah. But mashallah, it was good and mum happy and so forth. The only sad part was my dad's not here, so he passed away a few years ago, those who don't know. But other than that, mashallah, it was good. It was good to have, after this year of trials and ups and downs and whatever, to have some positive news and happy news in the family.
He's
alhamdulillah.
looking down on you, mashallah, just smiling, inshallah.
I don't know if he's up there or down. Like that's a really non-Muslim way of putting it, but
Bro, I was trying to make you feel better, man.
yeah, that's kind of weird, but anyway, alhamdulillah, like he's
Alhamdulillah.
inshallah Allah reunite us in the akhirah in
Ameen.
khair and goodness inshallah.
And congratulations to your brother.
Yeah, mashallah.
Well done, bro.
Congratulations.
Another one.
Well done.
Okay,
Alhamdulillah.
mashallah, may Allah make your marriage successful and peaceful and no headaches.
Ameen.
I mean, that's a weird dua. The dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is
Oh.
Allah gather them, Allah put barakah on them and gather them in khair and goodness.
I mean,
I don't know where headache came from. There's not a sunnah dua, but anyway, that was a weird dua. But anyway,
Right.
inshallah, Allah,
just,
Allah keep them happy.
Peace for both
inshallah.
of them.
Allah
I
make them
mean,
happy in this world and hereafter.
mashallah. What about you, Lata? What's happening?
Not much. Very quiet on my end, but I'm pretty tired today.
What happened?
Nah, just
Oh, you've been staying awake after Fajr, haven't you?
yeah.
How is that?
Trying to take benefit of the barakah.
And how has it been going?
Well, it's getting used to, because normally like after Fajr I like to have a nap. In saying that, it's
Well, that's when you sleep.
that's
so,
when I sleep.
yeah, so it's not a nap. It's just that's when I go to sleep.
But now I've just staying up till like after Fajr and just staying up and try to just maintain that healthy habit, inshallah.
I was
That's my
speaking to a
Inshallah.
brother yesterday. Mashallah, what does he do? After Fajr, he half an hour gym
Mashallah.
and half an hour swim.
Oh, that's like me.
He goes to gym. 5:30 in the morning, he goes to gym. 5:30 in the morning, he goes to gym, and then has half an hour and half an hour swim. I said, I heard that, and I said, I felt pretty lazy.
See,
I felt
that's
bad.
quite impressive.
I felt
See, for me at that time,
actually,
I
I
mean,
felt motivated. Then I asked him. I said, "Where do you go, gym and so forth?" So, but mashallah, and Allah reward him. But he goes, I do 4 pages of Quran before Fajr, and I said, all right, this guy's got his,
that's impressive.
his stuff together.
See, I don't want to kill my ikhlas or give out my good deeds, but usually that's just, I'm in tahajjud at that time.
Yeah. Well, you hear about
Well, actually,
these,
that's Fajr time.
we hear about these people that Wahlberg, isn't it? That actor,
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, isn't it? Yeah. So he wakes up 4 o'clock or 3:30.
Yeah,
Dwayne
all
Johnson,
of these
4:30.
highly successful
They
people,
work out.
They wake up at 4.
Not
4:30.
wake up. They work out in the gym full intensity for like 3 hours, 4 hours from
Meanwhile, we're just snoozing.
Yeah.
I'm in. Okay,
Well, that's-
I'm gonna stop pretending I'm waking up for tahajjud.
Well, this doctor, I was at the wedding. This doctor was saying about he was prescribing a medicine, a heart. What do you call it? A high blood pressure medicine, but it will make you sleep. He told the guy, he's a Christian monk, and he said, "No, I can't take it." He's like 80 or something. He said, "I can't take it because it'll make me sleep a lot." And he goes, "Well," he said, "that'll disturb my worship." And he said, I was a bit. He goes, "I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning to pray."
Subhanallah.
And then the doctor was saying, he goes, "I remember with Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, when he arrived in Sham and he met the monk who used to do so much. He just looked at him and just cried. He goes, "What a waste! You know, he's wasted his ibadah because he's not going to get rewarded for it."
Yeah.
Allah says it in the Quran, like ash being thrown into the storm. You know, stormy, windy, like you mentioned, rain and storm and wind.
Yeah.
You get ash and just throw it, how it disappears and dissolves. That's their amal. There's no recompense for it in
Oh,
akhirah.
that's so depressing.
Yeah, I mean that's why Umar radiallahu anhu cried when he saw the condition. He
And they
cried,
do so much
and he
work,
said,
effort.
because I looked at this guy's condition. He goes, look at his. He goes, even won't take the medication which is needed for his health because it'll just make him sleep more. So people in the past, so one of the ulama said the people in the past, if there's no such thing as insomnia, they consider insomnia ni'mah. So you can
Yeah,
pray more.
subhanallah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
subhanallah.
So we consider it as a calamity.
Yeah, I don't have insomnia. I'm just a night owl. I've been for years, and to try and change that habit is
same.
Very
hard
hard,
work.
yeah, same
It's
here.
hard work.
And then my phone doesn't help either. You know, the phone is that's if the phone wasn't there, then I'm curious how it would be. But
It's these
that-
special screens, these retina display screens. I don't know.
I remember when I got my first. The
Keep
Mac-
going. No, wait. Keep going, Lada.
No, it's not a conspiracy. I'm just saying.
No. When I got my first MacBook,
Mm.
my eyes were burning from just looking at the screen. Like my eyes it took like months for it to adjust.
Really?
Yeah, that screen. I don't know what it was doing, but it was burning. I mean, I'm on the computer a lot, but it actually affected my. Like it was burning my eyes when I was looking at the screen. And it
What
took
were
a-
you looking at on the screen?
No, I'm just looking at the screen, do my work, but it was just it was affecting my eyes
Subhanallah.
physically. Like I had a physical reaction to it.
Yeah, that happens
So-
to me with my phone, where it just my eyes. It's not more of a burn. It's like actually, yeah, it is a burn. It's like I get this, the sensation of getting soap in your eye,
Yeah,
but not as bad, but it's similar. And then my eyes get really watery, and then that's when I know like I'm tired, but I can't sleep.
Yeah, and you just
It's
keep
just-
going one thing to the next, and next thing you're
It's
on
just the phone, man.
YouTube
Yeah.
watching whales
Oh,
diving near
You just end up
kayaks.
in weird places in YouTube.
Yeah.
Watching cats.
I haven't watched cats, but my thing is watching ship fails.
Shit fails. Okay.
what do you mean, like
Yeah.
sinking?
No, not sinking, but you know when the ships are in dry dock and then they're putting them back into water. So what they do is
It's
actually
a weird
just
lane to
release
be
it.
in.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And I also
YouTube's
watch.
such a weird place.
Yeah, it is, and also I love
But if-
watching the factories that process wood, the trees that come in and
Oh,
guys
yeah.
that make stuff. So
Yeah,
I
that'd be
think
satisfying to watch.
my kids think that I'm a bit weird with that, but what do you do? But I enjoy watching that. Like there's guys there that use pallets, and they make the most amazing furniture. Just out of beds, and all he's using is pallets, but he's got all the tools for it. So if I had all the tools for it, I'd give it a go for sure. I have absolute silence, and everyone's just staring at me like I've gone crazy. Thank you.
No,
Gavin.
like using stuff. I bought an old wheelbarrow.
Yeah, I've seen it. The front, was it the front of your house?
and I
was
put it. I put it in
with
the
pot
backyard.
plant, all the stuff in it.
And my mum said it's just rubbish.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
bet.
old rust, it's been rusted out. So
Yeah.
it looks nice, looks artistic. Like I put it in the backyard in the corner, and I said that looks interesting.
It looks like a rusty wheelbarrow.
yeah, but it looks. It's got character.
It's got
rustic.
character.
Yeah, so he got it when he came, but then my mum was like, "This is rubbish." Like this is because I picked it up at somebody's farm. I saw it. Yeah, I'm taking that. It was rubbish there, and I put it there. It looks nice, like something interesting. But anyway, they don't see it.
Subhanallah.
So
That was your weekend then?
Yep, pretty much.
Getting
Or
in-
week.
Your week. So are you now Fajri?
Inshallah. That's
Inshallah.
the aim.
Oh, mate, if I get to bed at midnight, I feel like high-fiving someone.
that
Yeah,
is actually
it is
the
like
same.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
It's getting worse. My situation's getting worse.
Midnight for me is just like, damn. Like I slept at midnight last night. Actually, a little bit later than midnight last night, but again awake since this morning, mashallah, and I crashed hard when I got home. I was gone. And
Do you ever find it that you're tired throughout the day, and then when it comes to sleep, you've got so much energy?
straight after Isha, my eyes just
Yeah.
go ping. It's like who popped a pill in my food.
That always happens to me.
Yeah, subhanallah.
Good friend of mine said it was shaitan.
Mashallah.
Wakes you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, after
You know,
Fajr.
Yeah, but do you know what?
shaitan.
Not Fajr, after Isha.
No, but you know what? If you think about it, after Isha, next time, you know what? I'm going to get the Quran and read 10 juz.
Yeah.
Bro, by the third page, you're like, where's my bed? I'm knocked out.
Yeah.
And then you get into bed with your phone and that's it, another 3 hours. That,
I mean,
that's
and they've designed the apps to, like, if you look at whether TikTok or Insta or even Facebook, the video part of it, you look at all these apps and YouTube obviously, but the
They're designed.
scrolling function, that's
Yeah.
what kills it.
Yeah.
Because it's just non-stop. One finishes, another one starts. The scrolling thing,
but if
even
you-
Reddit
if-
as
I
well.
think, what's
Yeah.
it called? The Social Dilemma or whatever it was on Netflix. That
Yeah,
show?
the documentary.
That shows how much research went into keeping us addicted.
Yeah, they've got psychologists. They've got people what triggers you, how to keep you on. Their whole thing is because it's advertising money. The longer they can keep you there,
That's right. The more money, the more revenue.
exactly. So
Yeah,
everything is designed there. I tried a few tricks to stop myself from using it. Like, for example, like make my screen monochrome. If you go in the settings in your phone, you can make your screen black and white. Just search it, and so that made it less attractive. You know, yeah. You make it black and white. So everything's just in black and white. So
Interesting.
and you still have the same functionality, but the video, everything looks in black. It does take out the enjoyment of things. So there are things that you have to do, but then like because they're using colors against you.
Everything,
Yeah.
every little
Yeah.
detail and nuance in that feed has been geared to keep you there
Well,
longer.
I was reading in a book many years ago when I was studying madrasa about memorization. I think Ibn Jawzi rahmallah wrote, a great imam from like about 1,000 years ago. So in that book he talks about memorization. It's a book about great memorizers in our history, like people like Imam Bukhari, Imam Ahmad Hanbal, and in it he talks about the person. Like if you want to memorize, you should not look at greenery, and you should not look at running water, because it busies the mind.
Subhanallah.
Because the distractions, right? Because
Yeah.
it's enjoyable to look at greenery.
Yeah.
But if you want to focus on what you're and like something to memorize, then you should not look at things that are distracting. Although it's beautiful, but it's taking your focus away from what you want to do. So imagine, if that applied to us,
Right now, look in this day and age, kids looking at greenery and running water, the parents would be like very happy with that compared to what they're looking at the moment on their
Yeah.
phones. That's one of the reasons, like just to get away from screens. I went camping this weekend,
mashallah.
so
You should start a channel. My
What's that?
suggestion is to start a channel. Don't just because you're going camping every month.
Call it I went camping this weekend.
Just make a monthly video on your channel of
going bush.
going bush, which is kind of weird because you're getting away from screens. Now you're filming it for other people, so
Yeah,
they don't have to go.
that's-
That's what we do because that's a kind of a weird.
It's very ironic.
Yeah.
No, but the funny thing about this place was we just booked it. So a friend of mine,
Where is
a
it?
mutual friend, it's in Creswick.
Where's Chris?
So Creswick is which way do we go? Towards Adelaide, so
Oh,
west,
okay.
right? And
How far from Melbourne?
an hour and a half, so it was very close.
Okay,
So it was a
not-
very
it's not
easy
really
drive.
Adelaide, it's just outside of Melbourne.
Yeah. So it was a very easy drive. It's basically next to Ballarat, and when we turned up, it looked like a rundown caravan park. There was abandoned caravans, everything. What had happened to this place was the person before had run it into the ground, so the council came in and took over. So they're not advertising. So you've got a few people that are permanently there, and the rest like just transient like us, just in for one night, out for one night. As soon as we turn up, my son's like, "Baba, this is where you almost drowned." That's with my daughter.
Yeah.
The incident, and I just looked at it and my heart just reached up to my throat, because there next to it they've got this massive lake where I don't know what year it was, but they used to had the World Diving Championships.
Oh wow.
So there's diving boards there,
The really high ones.
really high ones,
Yeah.
and the water is 30 to 40 meters deep in some places.
Oh,
That's
nice.
proper.
And Alhamdulillah, I was very glad that we had our mutual friend with us,
Yep.
and whose name who shall remain nameless, right? But he's a very strong swimmer, mashallah. So I was like, yeah, look, Baba can't go in the water because of his knee, but you guys go hard. So they were jumping on. It was a good night. Had a bonfire. First camping trip for my son. So I think he was 3 weeks and a few days old. So
How was he?
he struggled with toasting the marshmallows. No, he was all right. He was just chilled. He was just too busy looking around, and he was with his mum most of the time. But it was a good trip. I think I do want to plan going there again for a couple of days, again with strong swimmers and rope. But that was why rope, you say? In case someone jumps and freaks out, you throw the rope to them. Don't jump in after them.
Don't worry, I learned that lesson.
Yeah, you learned that lesson. How'd you learn that lesson?
Oh, in Solomon's, I went to Solomon's a while back, and one of the people, or one of the peoples that I was with, a brother. I won't say his name. He couldn't swim.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, anyways, there was this amazing place that had a natural pool. I don't know what to call it.
That's right. We were together.
Yeah, we were. I don't know what to call it, but it was like a spring, a natural spring. It was very, very, very deep. Anyways, jumped in because I can swim. And this other bloke that can't swim, he
got
followed
excited.
through and just jumped in. And then
Maybe didn't realize how deep.
no, everyone could see.
No, but it
but
was
you can't-
so clear you could
it's
see the bottom.
You can see the bottom.
It was phenomenal.
But maybe his perception of
Yeah.
depth. Yeah.
No, he
Yeah.
just got excited.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
I remember. I
he
remember I
got
was in
excited.
primary school. I came from Pakistan. I didn't know how to swim, and I went to the diving board to dive. And my teacher, a grade 5 teacher, she had to rescue me.
Really?
Mrs. Perry, I think that was the name. She had to save me because I didn't realize. Because in the swimming pool, you can't really tell how deep it is.
So you just jumped off the diving
I
board?
no clue, no idea. Just went and just dived, and then I was just drowning. And she came to save me. She saved my life.
Yeah, that's
Then
pretty much what happened.
Her
to this
glasses
guy.
went to the. But she was like she had to dive in school clothes like teacher.
Oh, wow.
And her glasses went to the bottom. Then somebody else would dive in and grab her glasses out. And but anyway,
And you were
I
the
nearly
most,
died. I
most,
nearly died.
loved, most
So that's why I understand when
You're
the
in a
brother.
swimming pool.
The brother, I understand. No, first time I went to a swimming pool. Decided to dive.
Well, you'd never been to a swimming pool before
Never
that?
ever. In Pakistan, we swam like in rivers or.
Yeah, but you didn't know how to swim, so you didn't swim in Pakistan.
swam,
You
never swam.
waddled, waded in the water in
Yeah, so
Pakistan.
no clue of depth perception, nothing. Just went in.
MashaAllah.
No fear, man. Just
But I know how to swim now. Like I actually learned as a 30-year-old. So I actually know
You
how.
learned
to
as a 30-year-old how to swim?
Yeah.
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
See the
We're
silence.
both judging him, Malana.
Yeah,
Actually, no,
we are judging you.
I learned how
Almost
to
drowned in year 5 and
Yeah.
25 years later he decides to learn how to swim.
Yeah, but I actually know how to swim, so I can survive. I'm not a good swimmer,
Inshallah,
but
you
I know how to
survive.
swim.
Yeah, but swimming is exhausting.
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
Even 5 minutes just paddling water,
It is.
mate, if you're not fit,
Great way to get
exhausting. It is. So this brother that works out at 5:30 must be a very fit young man.
Yeah, mashallah.
Yeah, mashallah, some brothers they've got that discipline.
So the swimming pools are open now. So you can go do
Well,
laps and
swimming,
things like
some-
that.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe some are open.
Well, with this state of emergency extended, anytime they can be closed down again.
Yeah, possibly.
The Andrews government just recent. What about the HIF students? Do you take the Maktab students? Do you take them swimming? Would you risk taking them swimming?
Parents' problem. Parents can go. They can teach them. We should encourage. It's sunnah for boys to learn, as is mentioned in hadith, that swimming is one of the things you should learn. And some Sahaba, they're known for being very good swimmers.
MashaAllah.
And yeah, priority madrasa is hifz and Quran, and that's our job. Other job you can take somebody else, and somebody
Yeah.
else can do that.
Most of the maktabs are restarted in Melbourne now, so running along
Yeah,
smoothly.
most of them started, not all of them.
He's looking at me from the corner of his eye.
I don't know why some
full-on
mosques are so
judgmental.
hesitant, over hesitant in starting their classes and so forth. Many parents are complaining from different parts of Melbourne, calling and they complaining about it. But alhamdulillah, look.
I think they're just being extra cautious.
Yeah,
in their
too
defense.
cautious because their schools are started and other things are started. Everything else is started. Why wouldn't you start the Quran class in the masjid? Yeah, it's understand. If a case happens, it happens. We'll deal with it then. But it's just like be
Yeah, but
cautious.
You don't want to be
but
that
you-
person that started that
Yeah,
case.
exactly. I
Like,
mean, don't be
think about
blasé about it. Follow rules, have COVID safe rules and so forth, and do your best and bismillah. But the idea that these kids, 2 years, 1 year disturbed last year, another year you're going to stop them from education. That 2 years could be the years then this kid goes off into life, whatever. Maybe it's just like a critical year for them, and then they totally cut off from deen education, Quran, and so forth. Despite all of that, alhamdulillah, this week in our madrasa, one student finished Hifz al-Quran.
Oh, Mabruk.
Alhamdulillah. So despite COVID and all that, mashallah, in 2.5 years or so,
The whole Quran in 2.5 years?
alhamdulillah, he did his last lesson
MashaAllah, that's
yesterday.
impressive.
So
Yeah,
it's
bro.
a kashf ulum, and alhamdulillah, reward the parents and the teachers, and not just the teachers in our madrasa, teachers before as well that taught them the initial ajza, people that taught them how to read Quran, obviously. So alhamdulillah, it was like a great news. Like
Does you get so what happens when you finish? Do you get a certificate, a pat on the back?
I mean, some
here's a-
institutions will give certificates.
Gulab jamun?
No, not from. I mean, we will have a jalsa, like a graduation ceremony in a few weeks, inshallah. But where we sort of acknowledge, and it's more like, mashallah, well done, keep up the good work. but they sort of haven't finished because they have to do muraja as well, which takes about 6 months to a year.
What is muraja?
Which is basically now you're revising the whole Quran
To make it strong.
Yeah, so they basically start with reading one quarter, depending on how good their memorization was. So they read one quarter juz every day for 4 months. So they're constantly doing it, adding it. So that means it'll take 4 months, right? 30 juz times 4. Then they do half a juz a day, which
So
takes 2 months.
that one quarter, they just read it once or how many times?
No, they have to read it perfectly to the teacher. Plus
Oh,
whatever.
right.
And they keep accumulating that until they reach half. Then they do half a juz, which takes 2 months. So then they do one juz, 1 month. Then they do like 2 juz, 3 juz, 5 juz, 7 juz, like that. Half the Quran in one day, half Quran the next day, from memory. And then finally they read the whole Quran the whole day from morning till evening. Or they read the whole Quran in one day from memory.
So they go through one quarter juz a day, they read to the teacher
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yep.
And then the next lot of reading is half a juz.
Yep.
Then the next lot of reading is one juz
juz.
a day.
No, I can't remember the exact. This is a subcontinent in India, Pakistan. Generally, this is how they do the muraja. This is one way of doing it. And by after 7 months, 8 months, some people do it earlier. Some people there's different. It's not a fix. It's
Yeah.
not fixed in stone. But this is a good way to know. Like I know of Hufaz in Melbourne who memorized in Pakistan that they read the whole Quran the whole day. There's two I know. They read the whole Quran. When they get to the last day, which is basically they start reading like before Fajr and they finish after Isha. So the whole day they're reading the Quran. They finish the whole Quran from memory.
In front of their
In
teacher.
one day, yeah, without looking at the Quran. And they made, one of them made one mistake and there was a tajweed, one made no mistakes. You know these people. So these are older people. They're my age now. So like in their they're around 40 almost. So they
Not even a tajweed mistake.
not even one of them made one tajweed, like he didn't elongate it or reading his nose in a certain part, like not actually a word mistake. The whole day, no mistakes. So that's sort of like the system. But then there's like if you read about one of the ulama, I was reading about his biography, like in the he lived in the middle 20th century. So when he memorized Quran. Every day his father, like he has to wake up like 3 o'clock in the
Maulana
morning.
Zakaria rahmatullah alayhi.
Yeah, so every day he had to read the whole Quran. No breakfast till he finished one khatam. Like breakfast was after he finished. So he started like at the Hajj time, like it took him 10 hours or 9 hours. He has to read the whole Quran and he had to do that every day
For a year.
for 6 months.
Was that 6 months?
6 months, every day he had to do that. Because after that he said, I don't make any mistakes. I don't make any mistakes in my Quran. Like his Quran was solid.
Yeah.
So it's
So did he, I can't remember. Did he have to read it looking at it or from memory?
it's from obviously. I mean, part of like when you're correcting yourself, Quran is there always. So it's you're memorizing still, but it's just
Okay.
strengthening it. So if you make a mistake, forget, then you look at the Musaf obviously. But it just it's a lot of work. MashaAllah, Allah reward them and Allah reward them in behalf of because they're doing this fard kifaya duty, the teachers and the students for our community that. They're doing this responsibility. The rest of us sort of absolved.
It's a big achievement
Yeah, of
to
course it
memorize
is.
the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
Quran.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
I mean,
Akhirah, even from a dunya point of view, just the act of memorizing a book,
yeah,
page to cover.
yes, and it's the book, not a book.
The book,
but
okay,
yeah,
the book.
yeah, to memorize the book of Allah. Yeah, of course. There's specific rewards for the parents, specific rewards for that child. On the day of judgment, there will be one of the rewards. The people will be under the shade, where there's no shade except for His Subhanahu wa Taala. Is the Hafiz al-Quran? He'll get that. So, it's not a small thing. To someone becoming a Hafiz al-Quran is not a small thing. Alhamdulillah, like throughout our history, we always had some communities have more hufaz than others. Some systems work better. Generally, the subcontinent system memorizing is quite worldwide now. It's a pretty straightforward system of memorizing. Basically, you have like a new lesson. There's different names given in different countries, but you have a sabaq, a new lesson you memorize today. Some students memorize half a page, 1 page a day. So then they increase and so forth as they get better. But sabaq, a new lesson. Sabqi, which is like the last fortnight or 10 days of lessons. They read every day to the teacher. And thirdly is manzil, which is everything you memorized. So for example, if you're memorizing 1 page a day, then you read, if you memorize 1 page a day, you read the new lesson that you memorized today. Then the last 10 days worth of new lessons you memorize, you have to read that every day as well to the teacher. And then the first lesson 10 days ago drops off, keeps dropping off.
Oh, okay.
And then every week you should read your manzil, which is everything you memorized before the 10 days. So there's like 3 levels of memory,
Yep.
and this is how you get it into the long-term memory and so forth. And there's studies done
Well,
on this.
that's exactly how that's
Yeah.
the way to get
So
it
there's
into
three.
long-term.
There's three. And
Mashallah.
there's a course I did through Stanford, like online course on neuroscience. I'm like, I can't remember the name of the title of the course.
So
but
you're a Stanford.
it's about how to
University
study,
graduate.
how to learn. But in that course, they talk about how to memorize. Look into the book, look away, see what you remember. This is exactly what we taught in madrasa. That how you like you look away and repeat what you've learnt, right? So it works. These old tried and tested methods of memorization work.
Travel ban's been extended again, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
There we
the
go.
crying, the tears of the Australians from overseas. What did they say?
Imagine not being able to come back into the country.
Yeah, that's
That's so
I didn't-
sad.
But there's people going back and forth. I've seen.
Yeah, because they're getting exemptions. There's politicians.
And it depends. It depends what country they're stuck in as well.
Yeah,
Not just, and also there's politicians that are
Correct.
getting, chartered Air Force
Yeah.
flights to travel all over Europe. What was his name? The last Attorney General. So travel all over Europe because he wanted to press his case. It's crazy
no, but press his case for what?
to become, I think, a representative on the World Health Organization or something.
Well, he's going
IMF.
for work purposes. Yeah,
Well,
that's
no, he's
different.
not because he doesn't work for the Australian government anymore. It was just
okay.
a perk later on.
I mean, he's served Australian.
Nah, I'm sorry. I
community.
disagree with that. You've got thousands of Australians overseas wanting to come home.
Weren't they told to come, to leave everything, come, and then they decided just to delay, and then they got
No,
stuck?
because it wasn't that.
It was like weeks. It was
No.
months, isn't it? Was it that sudden?
no,
I don't remember
it
now.
was. The thing is,
Yeah, it
it
was pretty
wasn't.
sudden.
There wasn't enough flights, so
Mm.
people were booking flights, and then flights were getting cancelled,
Yeah.
and things were so fluid. And $10,000 for a trip back from China,
Yeah.
or 10 grand to come back from Malaysia to Australia.
A pretty
Yeah,
close
yeah.
friend of mine, his mum went overseas. I think she went to Kenya, and she took some of the kids as well. So it's like her and 4 kids. They're stuck in Kenya, and for them to get back, it's like at that time I remember my friend was telling me it's like it was at least $10,000 a ticket for just for his mum, and then each kid was at least 4,000, 3,000. So all up, she was looking at a lot of money. And yeah, she's still stuck there. But now it's because, Dubai's closed its airport. So a lot of the flights that go out of Africa, they transit to Dubai. Whereas now, I don't know how it's going to work, but yeah, they need to work a new transit stop.
The amount of
Yeah.
money we spend on just absolute crap. How hard is it to book a flight and say, right, we're landing in.
Yeah, big. It's not easy to book an international flight to Australia from the other side of the world.
That's my point. So why are we not, as a government, chartering flights, getting over there, saying, you know what, $2,000 a pop. Any Australians that are here, let's come back.
Yeah, but it doesn't cost that much. It's not that cheap. If you have regular flights going, regular staff there, but the problem is the travel industry is taking a hit and people are laid off and you have to bring staff in and so forth for specific flights. It's going to be very expensive.
Dude, we've got an Air Force.
But the Air Force is not made for long distance flights around the world.
There are arms of the Air Force that are.
No, there's not that much. You got
know.
to talk about like a flight from here to Dubai.
16 hours.
Yeah, exactly. How many Air Force planes are there that can do
Okay,
that?
say one plane
Yeah.
that can take 300 people or
We got-
400 people.
We've got
Yeah.
those Globebusters, they can do that.
Well, no, say one plane with 400 people, that's 400 less people that are struggling right now, that are doing it hard.
Okay.
Okay, so give them a week off. In a week, 400 people a week, how much is that in a year? Yeah, it sounds like hard work, but yeah, we've got to bring them home.
Yeah.
People are struggling. I completely...
But the thing is that in the news it says that people are stuck overseas. How many people are stuck? Is it every Australian that's stuck?
there are
Maybe-
thousands.
Yeah, but it could be like 5 in this country, 10 in this country. It's probably not like 400 waiting at the airport in one country.
Do you not think...
And then now you can see the expenses going up.
Yeah, but do you not think as the Australian government, we have a duty of care to all our citizens?
I don't know, man. When it comes to Australia and you being overseas, if
Yeah,
something
you're screwed.
happened-
You're on
yeah,
your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem. No, if you're ethnic and you're overseas,
True.
if you think about it,
Really?
or you're Julian Assange.
Actually, no,
Assange.
not even ethnic, man. Because when the cruise ships, because there was a few cruise ships that were stuck, a lot of the other
In Hong Kong,
like
right?
a lot of the other European countries took back their citizens, but Australia
Actually, good point.
was just like, nah, sorry, mate,
Yeah.
stay there.
We're too busy doing the sports routes. I'm building.
traveling during. If you're going on a cruise in a pandemic, you deserve to stay over there.
Yeah, look, that one I couldn't get my head around. But at the same time, the amount of money that is wasted on
what?
so many different things,
On what?
just slippage within the government.
Yeah, I know, but this level, what you're asking for is not realistic. The amount of money that has to be invested to bring these people back, it is not worthwhile.
I mean, they can just
Give me a plane, teach me how to fly. Lata, you put the petrol.
they can just print it.
Molana, you can be the flight attendant. All right, let's go get him.
Yeah.
Irfan, you're my co-pilot.
I'm not skinny enough for the aisles.
Excuse me. Oops, sorry about that. We would just have someone having a massive pot of biryani and they just come through. That's it. You're not going to get 5-star service. You got biryani. It's coming out of this
paper
pot
plates.
on paper plates. Just line up, come down one aisle, go back to along the other aisle.
Watered down cordial.
That's it. No, Ruafza.
But you know, I was speaking to a travel agent the other day. They've copped it now in this situation. They're the people that've copped it the most.
I feel so sorry for them, man.
Yeah, there's no work for them. If you're a travel agent, even a Muslim travel agent does Hajj and stuff, like all your business.
Well, there is
gone.
no Hajj.
Yeah, there's no Hajj, Umrah,
Yeah.
even the religious stuff is all gone as well for them because that's part of their job.
Yeah,
But,
the travel industry got
they're
hit
struggling
hard.
the most. But the good thing is the Australian or the Victorian government, I think it's a Victorian or federal, I'm not sure, but they prioritize like these jobs, new jobs created for COVID, like all these inspection or checking the airports, testing people, make sure people are following quarantine and so forth. That's been given priority. The 5,000 jobs were created and they're given to the travel industry, to travel agents and so forth. So that's a good thing. They're looking after them, but they've suffered the most. Like their JobKeeper also is finished. So therefore they, they.
I'm really curious as to the effect that this is going to have on the economy once JobKeeper's gone. Because there's been holding a lot of things.
2021, we're going to start seeing the reality of how bad this is. And I was reading something today. This will be till 2030. 30s. This is going to be extending out for a long time.
The economic effects.
Yeah. Allah make it easy for everyone.
How do people climb back from that? I mean, the rich got very rich.
It's just a different world. Like, how did people recover after World War II or World War One? It just, there'll be a new generation created that they'll be, this is
They're
their,
just used to it. That's their new, that's their normal.
yeah. Like I told my son, like your future is going to be very different to the program that's been last 70 years. Like the way people are living and so forth, jobs and
Interacting, traveling,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. That's a bit sad. Yeah, I was there, even for our kids, like even Hajj as we know it. Those mass crowds, people squashing together. Hajj Aswad, when's the next time someone's going to be able to kiss the Hajj Aswad?
oh, we will, inshallah. I mean, there's
Inshallah.
been disturbances in
about that,
history.
yeah. Subhanallah.
There's been massive disturbances, I mean, Hajj Aswad was even stolen by Qaramita. There's a
Stolen?
group. Yeah, 25 years. I think it's 25 years. This is like very early on. There was a sect that appeared. They stole the Hajj Aswad. It was then the Khalifa regained it and all that. But it was 25 years. There was no Hajj Aswad. If I remember correctly, they took it. That's why the Hajj Aswad actually is in pieces. It was broken. When they're trying to get it back, it broke. That's why if you look at the Hajj Aswad, it was actually the original Hajj Aswad was placed within a bigger stone. Okay. So, you read about the Qaramita, there's a sect that appeared, they stole the Hajj Aswad. So, things have a way, Allah will make His deen, protect His deen and the signs of His deen.
Yeah.
So is it if you kiss the Hajj Aswad, your sins are forgiven?
You will bear witness to your, on the Day of Judgment for you. And so,
So if you stole the Hajj Aswad and you kissed it, is it going to bear witness for you on the Day of Judgment?
You don't get rewarded for
Is that-
zakat and sadaqah. If you steal people's money and give zakat with it, do you get rewarded? Obviously not. So, but with the COVID situation, like the other day I saw I think it was yesterday, Hamza,
Yes.
the
UFC
Swedish
fighter, yeah.
Yeah, so he, I think he retired, and he had COVID. But
Yeah,
like
that was shocking.
His body hasn't recovered.
Well, the thing is that he
He's an athlete. He's like he's
super athlete. Yeah,
Super
like top
athlete.
of his game. And
it hit him hard.
yeah, he's like showed a picture of coughing blood, and his lungs are not like recovered, and he couldn't because your stamina is based on your, breathing, obviously, and so he couldn't recover from COVID. So he had to retire at the peak. He was on the ascendancy in the
Yeah.
UFC, going up.
No.
So he was for him to retire. That's kind of scary. Like, okay, this COVID thing, it affects different people differently, and and for him to be in peak condition, and that happened to him, and he has to retire early. It was kind of sad.
Well, the thing I saw a sign today, someone protesting because the state of emergency has been extended.
Oh man, I'm
So
one of these people now.
this guy protesting goes 2021 equals 0 deaths from COVID. Like he's trying to say, explain that, and I go, well, that's because we have been quarantining, and all of these things have been happening.
I don't understand, man. Some people
have a look overseas and the results and still today there are people that are denying social distancing and masks and things like that. But it's going to be interesting. I know Saudi, no jab, no Hajj. What's Hajj going to look like even post COVID, even once you've had the jab?
Hajj will be Hajj. At the moment, I saw.
Do you think it'll be as packed and as just
one sheikh sent an image the other day, and he's doing Umrah at the moment, and mashallah, the social distancing and everything is there, so like similar to what we have here. But once the vaccine comes, then is it going to be like back to normal? Allah knows best,
Is there?
we used to
get
get
a back to normal after that?
We used to get the meningitis or yellow fever, whatever it is. That's part of standard protocol for going for Hajj. The whole world gets. Anybody goes Hajj, we already get a vaccine.
Yeah.
So there's just another vaccine. So
And the way that I see it, the human race has seen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has tested us through much worse of viruses, throughout history.
Yeah, Black Death.
Yeah, and we came back, and everything's not back to normal. But
Everything's hunky dory, as they say.
Yeah, then we
I
moved
think
on.
the bubonic plague, Black Death, killed like a quarter of the world's population, or a third, or something like that.
The world's population was much less back then as well.
Yeah,
But that's even scarier.
yeah,
If you've got such a smaller population, and then you've taken, 1/3 just a disease, and then that's just disease. So imagine, people dying of other causes.
And now the economic impacts, just what's happening to people with this whole COVID situation, and all these people there's certain people that are surviving, there's certain people that aren't surviving.
the WHO, they basically
World
now
band?
they've given a warning now. Not the band, the WHO,
World
World
Health-
Health Organization. They've given a warning that the variants that are coming out now, the idea that we will sort of go to a normal or semi-normal by the end of 2021
Isn't it?
is not going to happen. And in the US, all these variants now.
Yeah, there's a new variant.
In the US, they're detecting it. There's a South African one, the UK one. There's another one that came. No, in the US, they're expecting other variants to pop up.
I think they should call it the Donald Trump variant.
No, I don't. I'm pretty sure this was on a drive. I was driving, and the BBC was on, and they were talking about a variant from Texas, and apparently this new variant is obviously a lot more infectious, but also the symptoms.
40 to 60% more infectious. Yeah, the
Oh,
US.
Well,
worse.
and the Texans are one of the
Well, today
states that are completely
no
anti-maskers.
masks. The governor announced no mask anymore in Texas.
There you go.
Texas, so
Yeah.
they're going to do what the UK did. They're going to stuff up. They're already stuffed up. UK went all blase. We're going to have herd immunity, Boris Johnson, all that sort of stuff. And now they're paying the price for it because it's people just dying left and
But
right.
is it still that extreme in the UK?
It's bad. It's
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, but they've got lockdowns now. Now they're going back to the original what they were told. Like in Australia, we followed it right from the start.
Yeah.
The UK now they're going back. Like they're trying to implement some. They have implemented like lockdowns and so forth. But the thing is that what it took was a lot of deaths and realized like Sweden, those countries. They said, everyone.
Sweden was going for herd immunity.
and they failed big time for the per capita. They're the worst in the world.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah, so they played different. I think the good thing now is like after 1 year,
We know
you
what
can
works.
actually see. Oh, okay, the Chinese got it right when they locked people in their house. Told them no one's allowed to go. They actually got it.
welded people's doors.
Yeah,
shut.
because they were those probably they were anti-vaxxers.
Anti-vaxxers.
All right,
If anything, China, they
but
probably knew about it
it's
ages ago and knew exactly what to do.
They had the experience from SARS.
Yeah, true.
But
'Cause
also,
it is-
but it's a police state, and they can,
World people's doors shut.
they can do things like that. You can't do that here. And
it's just welding your door shut, and then
You can't get out.
you can't go anywhere.
yeah,
It's freaky.
You can't leave your house.
but they succeeded in controlling it. But now they're finding out that actually this virus spilled out wherever it came from. That's a different story. But it was I think maybe November 2019, not January or December. It might have been a bit earlier, but the government hid it.
Yeah.
But anyway, they the thing is that the virus is out. This variants is going to go on for a while.
The crazy
You know?
thing is, I was just thinking back to listening to the radio at the start when we used to hear China has this strange virus,
Yeah.
and
And just thinking, oh yeah, it's
China.
Yeah.
and I remember my son saying, "Baba, is that gonna because he gets very paranoid with this stuff? Is that gonna come here?" I go, "Don't be silly, bro. How's that gonna affect us? That's in China."
Yeah.
1 year later, where's your mask before you leave the house?
Yeah.
Housing prices.
It wasn't even
Well,
1 year.
if this virus economic situation is so dire, why are housing prices going through the roof? This last month of February was the highest increase in 17 years. Somebody explain that, because I can't figure
government
it out.
paychecks.
No, I can't figure that out. What is that? What does that even mean?
I don't know. I'm just people get extra cash, Just
But this fact of FOMO of people are
fear of missing out.
Yeah,
Just
so
for anyone that
people
doesn't
are
know.
worried that they're going to miss out on getting this bargain house.
It's
How are they not
it's-
dropping? That's what I want to know. Logic
Yeah,
for
it's-
me as a layman says, okay, everyone's got less money. People are struggling. People can't afford to buy housing, so they'll save more money.
Yeah, maybe one thing is there because the building industry was under lockdown. Maybe there's less houses in the market. New houses are coming in. So
There
the
is-
supply,
there-
the supply did reduce because builders had to stop working.
Did
Yeah.
they stop working? The
Yeah,
builders?
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think they did.
No, they had to last year. They
No,
had
because
to.
I remember driving into
No,
the
but
city.
things
Job
take-
sites were still on.
Yeah, but in very limited way. It was very restricted. Like there can only be like 2-3 people. It was very. I know.
It
I know
wasn't
brothers.
normal.
I know brothers who lost out a lot of money. I'm talking about millions.
Builders.
Builders, yeah, in the last year. So they were extremely affected by it. So if there's no supply coming in, the supply
Yeah.
was reduced. Obviously, the prices are going to go up. There's less in the market. So it might be deceptive. Right? Looking at it, it might be deceptive. It looks like the medium or the price is going up. In reality, what it is, just the supply was reduced. Eventually,
So that's why price went up.
a low item.
So if supply increases, then according to that theory, prices should go down. So I suppose the question is, are they going to continue increasing? Will they stagnate for a little while and then continue increasing, or is this a bubble where people are going to have borrowed $1 million for a property that's worth $500,000?
I mean, I'm going to throw out there. I think it's a bubble, only because I'm just looking at what happened in 2008 in the United States. Similar thing occurred where before the crash, the housing.
You're
house
talking about
prices-
subprime mortgages.
Yeah, house prices went way up.
Did they?
Yeah, it went before it went down. It went extremely high, and then it collapsed eventually once everyone knew what was going on. But yeah, who knows? It could be the same thing.
But I suppose on that question, these subprime mortgages, they're the houses that crashed, or was that across the board? So in whichever suburb you lived in, whichever locality you lived in, all your houses crashed. New York City, for example.
Yeah, because so the way that those mortgages worked is that they had other money tied into it, other institutional money tied into it, because people were taking out bonds, like essentially bonds that were made up of mortgages.
Yep.
And selling it to countries and corporations, and then they come knocking on the door saying, "Give us our money." And then when they found out that it's worth nothing, obviously they're going to sell whatever they have in order to get whatever money they can get back, and then it's just a snowball effect from there.
So those that shorted the subprime mortgages made a lot of money those times.
Yeah, I mean the
Anyway.
movie Big Short. That's the whole theme, I guess, of the movie is those.
Good
guys
thing the
making
government
money.
brought in. Good thing the government brought in this week with social housing. I think 5,000 or something houses for housing commission.
$5.3 billion,
Not housing,
12,000 houses,
12,000 houses across Victoria,
which is fantastic.
So in
and it's
Melbourne-
needed.
and it's ticked off the richer suburbs, the rich people, because they don't want poor people in their area.
Yeah.
That is so. I mean, they said like if you're in like Kew or one of those inner eastern suburbs, now all of a sudden there's
It's
like
basically the Liberal suburbs because it's the Liberal Party that voted against it.
yeah, exactly. So they're liberal. I don't know even how you mount that attack on Labor or the Victorian government, which we have here, to go against poor people needing houses to be distributed evenly across the councils and across Melbourne.
They're not saying it's their argument is we're not saying don't build the houses. We're saying what are the type of houses that you're going to build. So the properties that you build have to tie in with the ambience of the suburb. So in other words, you won't be able to afford to build in this suburb because the council has so many laws where you need this needs to be this way, that needs to be that way.
I mean,
They're coming from the back door. It's a backdoor method.
Have a look at Doncaster in Melbourne, eastern suburbs. All right, look around Westfield as an example. Those tall apartment buildings, right? If you put up one housing commission apartment building, or even not even like a 20-story or 15-story, if you put up like a 4-story one, it fits in with the rest of the apartments of the rich guys that are living there who bought it for $1 million.
But that's in Carlton. It's like that in Carlton.
No, but Carlton's like a full-on old
areas.
That's they're ugly buildings.
No, but they're not.
Housing
But
commission.
the
No
thing
offense
is,
to
the issue is it's
I
not.
live in
live in
Carlton,
there.
so that's all right.
Yeah.
They're not-
Where'd you live?
In Flemington.
Okay.
Flemington.
They're not.
Housing
build-
commission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're up there.
They're not building. Well, they're not building apartments. It's houses. 12,000 dwellings.
No. Who said that? They're all houses. They're not houses. And the thing is that if you see I've seen housing commissions like in the north suburbs. They're decent. They look all right. Like
they're not bad.
They
mate.
look like townhouses.
Yeah, that's correct.
The new ones
they
are
can fit
The
in.
new
really
ones.
nice.
The new ones fit in easily. This is just
I don't
about we
think
don't
they-
want the poor people in our area.
I don't think they're gonna put like in front of like an acreage mansion, 2-3 acre mansion. They're gonna put like 5 townhouses next to it. I don't think that's what they. I think this is the suburbs.
They don't want poor people in the area, but this is their argument. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's a way of feeling good about yourself
Look,
that
we got
we're
a-
not
we-
protesting against poor people. We're protesting against the style of housing.
Yeah, but this is a round.
It's a load of crap.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you should, as a society, you should take care of we have 100,000 homeless or something in Australia,
In Victoria.
So this is a problem for the
So
whole community.
12,000 homes. There's still
There's mental health issues there. There's
89,000
drug
short.
problems there. There's a lot of other issues there. But the first thing is to get them off the streets to help them out.
Having
You
a roof over
have
your
it-
head has such a massive impact on coming back from whatever you've done.
Mm.
So just
Yeah,
having
of
a
course.
place to live, not just a place to sleep,
Yeah,
a place to shower, a place to put on clean clothes,
exactly.
a place to cook your food. So you can actually buy food, put it in the fridge, and go. You know what? I've got dinner tonight. Not I've had lunch. Let's worry about dinner at dinner time because I've got nowhere to store it.
I mean,
It's a
psychologically,
bit
of
stretched.
course,
It's a bit rich. You know, people arguing, like people that are very well off arguing against all these richer suburbs, arguing against poor people trying to get a helping hand.
Do you guys remember when you never used to see, well, hardly a homeless person?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was something out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it was like, what? How's this possible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know,
I remember the first time I was in Coburg, and I was like at the library for some talk I had to give, and it was a Muslim organisation that had a function at the library, public library, and I walked out. It was a couple of years ago, and I walked out and I saw a guy like in a doona sleeping on the bench,
Yeah.
and I never seen that.
it breaks your heart.
And it looked normal. Like he was acting normal. Everyone was acting normal around it, and it's something that we never grew up in Melbourne with. Like we never grew up with seeing that. Like as teenagers or in the 90s, never saw that in the 90s.
Yeah, never.
There's a guy that near the Hungry Jacks, one of the Hungry Jacks near my place. Behind it, there's a bit of a grass patch. This guy's basically made himself a tent out of like old clothes and tarp. It's like what you'd see over in India or in the subcontinent or in one of the poorer countries where people are just patching things together to make a place for themselves.
Yeah, I think this is something where, you know, our prophethood started off with that before his Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, before he started his Nabawi, he was known to help the poor, destitute, people that are cut off, the wayfarer, orphans. Something about human dignity, uplifting people is something that is, even before prophethood, is built into the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, life and into our deen, right? It's something that is there. Human decency is something that these people, these rich people like that have an objection and they hide it under account. I mean, like to come out and say, as the liberal politicians to come out.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I find
it's
that
like
repulsive.
They're going to argue this point for these rich people to be like that. They're actually showing their true colors, because for them to even say that without providing a solution,
and just hiding behind
they don't
bureaucracy.
care. All they care about is the council rules and the, like you said, ambience or the aesthetic of their locality more than a human being sleeping on the ground.
Yeah.
It shows how bad as human beings.
But it's been like that since day one. The only thing is this has just been brought to the fore because of this issue.
Yeah, because that's one thing. See, the left
it's affecting themselves.
The left, you can attack them for many things, but one thing you can see, at least they make it a point. Human dignity, workers.
That's right.
That's where sort of our interests as Muslims line up with them. We might not agree with all the other nonsense they might bring on board now. Like, I mean, they can go so far that I think it was Dutch translator. She or he, I can't remember now. Is white. That girl that recited the lady that recited the poem at Biden's inauguration.
Yeah.
So because she's white, she has resigned. He goes, it is not appropriate for me. I accept that it's not appropriate as a white person to translate a black person's poem.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, this is, and the publisher has retracted, and she accepts that as a white person, I cannot express the feelings of, mate, you're translating words on a paper. You know, you can translate. You can translate, but this is how
Is she translating in sign language?
She's translating into Dutch,
right.
one of the languages there in the
Netherlands.
Netherlands. So, but it becomes a bit. But on the other side, taking care of the workers' rights, taking care of the dignity of the poor person, you know, actually consider it something that should look at the person that downtrodden, take care of them. And that's the weird thing. Someone said, one Christian person said this week, he goes, in the US, he goes, my whole life as a child I've been taught to take care of. Jesus taught us this, Jesus taught us to take care.
Yeah,
and he goes, when I became an adult and become part of the Republicans, like Jesus didn't mean
them.
there he goes, no, they have to pull themselves up their bootstraps, and they don't deserve, like, you know, and this is communism. Because when I became an adult, the same stuff that I was told as a child has now socialism. Because to take care of the poor and so forth. But anyway, speaking of taking care of people
Socialism?
of people that are human decency. So this brother from Melbourne, Osama Al-Hassani, he's been arrested, or he's about to be extradited from Morocco to Saudi Arabia. And as you know, in the current climate, what they do they have a very insidious, these police states, they will go after their own, even if they're overseas.
But he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, but he's
they're accusing him of.
They're very harsh to like
things against the state.
Not their own.
No, but the article I read today, the person they're looking for is not this guy. The date of birth that the Moroccan police had, the name that the Moroccan police had, she's telling them this is not the same name. This is not the same date of birth, and they're like, nah, bad luck.
How does that
and
work?
they've just taken him in.
How does that work? What do you mean bad luck?
Maybe he was the only Saudi within a dual citizenship
Bad luck,
in
you've
Morocco.
got the same name.
No, but they didn't have the same name. The guy doesn't even have the same name.
The guy probably working there, that they had a bad day and they just
just pick someone
or he's
up.
jealous of somebody, he's living in a Western country, whatever. There's different.
This stuff doesn't.
What? Yeah.
And she's saying, and she said, look, we're trying to explain to them the person that you are talking about, and my husband is not the same person, and they're absolutely completely disregarding that.
Yeah. There are thousands of people in Saudi jails at the moment, Pakistanis. Because my uncle's, rahmullah, he was dealing with the government there, just arrested like that, workers.
For no reason.
For no reason. Innocent people, thousands.
Could you imagine who's responsible for that?
No, it's just, when you have a corrupt and inept, society, like they cannot actually, like the biggest job of a ruler is to dispense to justice.
Yeah.
But when you have separate set of rules for foreign workers, separate set of rules. Imagine if, like in Qatar, how many people have died for the soccer stadiums? How many have died in heat exhaustion?
Thousands.
These Nepalese and Indian workers.
Not just heat exhaustion.
I think a couple of thousand.
Bad IHS practices.
Yeah, they died falling off buildings, sites.
They fall into concrete.
Yeah. So there's a separate rule.
Keeps pumping.
They are separate set of rules for them, separate rules for Africans, separate rules for
Indians.
Europeans that come, white people that come from Europe. They treat them differently. I know brothers work there in IT company, IBM and so forth. I mean, those even the multinationals, because they follow the local customs, so forth. This is like, unfortunate. That's that's zulm, right? Because you have a separate set of rules for different people. And one of the description of Sahaba radiallahu anhum given by, I think it was Roman or Persian general, he said if one of their princes, like the ruler's sons, if they were to steal, they'll cut their hand off as well. Sahaba, that's a description of Sahaba. Many alims will find that, even many people in this time will find that difficult to say. But that was how the non-Muslim described. They were fair. And Rasul taught him that. If my daughter Fatima radiallahu anha, she was to steal, her hand would be cut off as well. Because what happened was somebody, there was a lady that stole, and the tribe intervened. Like someone did and came and did like intercession.
Yep.
Try to, she's from a very noble tribe, this, that. And yes, if my Fatima, my daughter, was to steal, her hand would be cut off. That's the law.
Yeah.
It has to be dispensed equally to everybody. But anyway, look, Allah help this brother. Yeah, Allah help him and all the other brothers and ulama and people that are suffering under these sort of
suffering?
There's many ulama under house arrest and in jail in Saudi Arabia now.
Ulama.
Yeah, man. That's
senior ulama.
You didn't know that?
For what reason?
Oh, they don't toe the line. The state, they disagreed with the irreligious laws that are being passed. The un-Islamic things are being done by the state. Yeah, like all the haram, they're basically forbidding the evil, and because they're doing that, it's they've been
It's like you can't oppose the government
because they're not foreigners. Because foreigners will just kick out.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
But
with
because they're own people, they're their own people. They're tribal people. They're connected tribes, and so them objecting to the state is not. They don't see them as just individuals. These are influential people of that society. So their way to solve it is. I saw one of the ulama that was arrested. And he was jailed for 1 year, and then he was released. That was more to do with just he didn't toe the official state religious body. Like you have to comply.
Yeah.
And if you don't comply, and because he's a local, he studied through their institutes, their Islamic universities, and he's got a tribe.
Like he's a traitor.
He's like they can't do nothing with him. They can't kill him. So what do you do? And he's got a voice. He's got a following. Now you got a problem. Like they'll get like ulama that have like 1.5 million, 2 million, 3 million, 10 million like on Twitter followers. Those guys, they get pulled up. They'll disappear for a week from their Twitter account. Yeah, it's very similar to China, what China does to its big people.
Oh, what happened to what's his name, Jack Ma?
Yeah, exactly.
He's not the same since he's come back here out of.
They call him. They pull him to the side, give him a bit of targhib, a bit of encouraging words, and so
he's a different person now that he's let out.
Yeah,
mate, I can't wait till they colonize Mars. Then what I can do is we can just go and chill out there.
It's such a dumb idea, the colonization of Mars or settle Mars, because it's like it is the most ridiculous. The idea that you're going to create an atmosphere and you can't even keep the one here clean is not going to happen. The adventure of going there is amazing.
But the people that are in that want to go to Mars are also the same people that believe in keeping the Earth clean.
Yeah, but like how about cleaning the Earth here instead of like going?
Because it's.
How about cleaning the pollution in this thing?
Because it's a losing battle.
Instead of burning rocket fuel into this atmosphere to get to Mars, like a billion cars worth of rocket fuel,
If I had a chance to go to Mars, I reckon I'd probably take it.
What for?
One way ticket though? You can't come back.
Well, I'd want to go further than Mars then. Then I'd want to go further than Mars.
Into the sun. But look, the Mars rover thing is amazing.
It will become dark with my nur.
The Mars rover thing is amazing. The videos, the images they're setting this week.
They're phenomenal.
It's amazing, right? On level,
I cannot believe how clear they are. High resolution.
Lata
doesn't believe they went to Mars. Are you serious?
They're in Alaska somewhere.
Possibly. Possibly. But I was just.
So where are the photos coming from?
No. Just
imagine.
Cooper Just imagine. Just a guy sitting on his laptop computer somewhere, just using Photoshop.
And you've got 20,000 scientists in NASA all cheering and clapping as part of the ruse.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't doubt it. I mean, they're probably there.
Yes, you do.
Like, I can't say I'm 100% confident that those photos are genuine. I'd say maybe 70%.
Interesting.
So there's a bit of healthy skepticism there.
I guess
healthy skepticism is one thing. denying the consensus of 99.99% of the people of the field, astronomers and all the denying all of them.
When it comes to space, I'm in. I'd prefer to have
what you want and what you like is one thing.
You want the story to be real, huh?
Yeah, I want the story to be real, so I will convince myself that it is real.
Well, if you go back to the original moon landing, there is question mark. There are question marks.
Yeah.
Not on the moon landing. Not on the moon landing. But some of the images that were used, they were doctored, and because I think if I remember correctly, they had a contingency plan to fake it. And some of those images were leaked to the public.
Okay, wait. I need to clear something up for everyone right now.
Yep.
Do you believe the moon landing happened?
Yes.
Lata.
Yes,
do you believe the moon landing happened?
I actually do believe the moon landing.
That man went to the moon.
Yeah, I believe that. But
Irfan?
Let me be clear.
You don't believe it?
Irfan doesn't believe it.
All right. Irfan, the man that we never see or hear, has shaken his head and said the moon landing is fake.
And mind you, from a fiqh perspective, landing on the moon or not landing on the moon doesn't affect your iman. But it tells you about how smart or dumb you are.
What about qibla? How do you work out qibla from the moon?
Well, even not even just the moon.
You just pray to the direction of the earth.
Qibla changes every salat.
You just face the earth. That's, I don't know, what else can you do? Because the Kaaba's there.
Yeah, but the earth is a very big place.
Yeah, but in the general direction.
If you're on the moon, right? Think about how precise you need to be, right, in order to get the qibla right. That you're facing Mecca,
So maybe have a.
So if you're like just a centimeter out, you're probably in China.
I wish everyone could see your hand movements.
Well,
right now.
the rule for qibla is that you should face. If you're in front of the Kaaba, face directly at the Kaaba, right?
Yeah.
If you are outside in the city, like in the streets, then you face the masjid. Like you face the masjid haram, right?
Yep.
In direction. If you're in another land, you face the general horizon, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you're on another planet, face the general planet. I don't know.
So if you're in
there was a Saudi.
So if you're in another solar system, face the general solar system. I'm liking where this is going.
Yeah, the general. So, but the thing is, that changes. For every five because it's moving and orbiting and so forth. It'll be changing. So you might have 5 qiblas. That's going to be 5 different. It's going to be difficult to build a masjid on the moon, or on Mars.
Well, you build a circular masjid.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah. so you have like maybe an app to tell you the qiblas now.
No, the floor becomes like those compasses.
Oh, rotating floor.
Tells you the qibla.
Yeah.
The floor just rotates according to qibla.
Yeah. When we get there, inshallah, we'll. That's one thing I would love. I mean, there was we've been hearing about it for like 10 years at least. Amazon guy and this company and that company, and at least the rich people, they already bought tickets and so forth.
For what?
To go into space, right?
That's already happened.
No, it hasn't.
People have
done that.
Not commercial flights.
Yeah,
through Russia
does that.
Russia does it.
Yeah.
You got enough money, you can go to space.
You got 20 mil, you can go.
Oh, 20 million.
That's your super, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about
there was a Saudi prince, a Muslim guy, Saudi prince. He went in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, he prayed in space.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
So
See, that'd be a good question for him. Where did you face?
Which way did you face? Like, yeah, you're gonna have to repeat that salat.
Because he'd be in orbit as well, so it's like he's constantly changing directions.
Yeah, we're floating. He gets to ruku, he flips around.
Anyway. Very interesting. Okay, so look, one thing I will definitely confirm that what I do believe is fake is the broadcast of the moon landing. No way that's real.
I actually watched a video about that.
Yeah.
It was developed by Westinghouse, a specific camera for that. When the broadcast came through, it was actually received in Australia. And Woomera and the guys that received it, they received the image upside down, and the only thing that happened was it was flipped the correct way up.
Oh.
One small step for man.
Was it?
One giant leap for mankind.
So it wasn't live?
It was live.
Okay.
But it would be delayed a few seconds.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if you see the Starship Enterprise,
look,
I hope I'm on that bridge.
It takes 8 minutes for light to reach Earth from
Allah
the sun.
can do anything.
Imagine having to, broadcast something live from the moon.
Yeah, but it's not coming from the sun. The sun is so much further away.
Yeah, but so the moon's not Not far away.
Moon's far away, but not light years or light minutes or light
60s,
seconds.
In the 60s, we can, broadcast
Radio
live.
waves.
Yeah, I don't know.
You will not convince me otherwise.
Can
Like I said,
can we broadcast?
The
from
guy
moon?
landed.
Can we broadcast from the moon now and receive a message live
Yes.
now?
Yeah. Now I can see that happening.
So
But it won't be high. No way it's going to be high definition.
It's coming from Mars high definition.
yeah, but
so
no.
this
But
is-
Oh, here we
no,
go.
but there's a
The
delay.
photos from
those
Mars.
are still pictures, but
There's
so
a-
Yeah.
you can kind
No,
of sell
but
that.
there's a delay of 2 minutes to 20 minutes, depending on where the moon is in relation to the orbit of the sun. So where it is, it's 2 to 20 minutes delay for whatever they receive.
All right. What about the random radiations that occur from outer space?
So what they
the
did
gamma
was
rays and all
they
that.
actually
It happens
had,
all
they,
the
had,
time.
they had all that stuff built in to protect against that. For example,
course
the
they did.
Mars rover. For Mars rover to communicate with Earth, it takes 16 minutes for the signal to reach us.
Yeah.
So once imagine how trippy that is. The signals reached us. Now these guys have to give the rover instruction: don't go over that cliff. It's bad. 16 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's why it has so much automated backups built in.
Yeah, I can see these things like the rover and taking still pictures, even if it's HD. That's feasible, but just live broadcasting, especially in the 60s.
What about those astronauts that are
Facebooking their friends. What's it called? Live
they-
chats with their
school-
families.
with students and schools. They
Oh, you mean
live.
on YouTube?
No, live
Yeah,
connection
and
to a
their
school.
videos
Yeah,
are
on
on YouTube.
Yeah, that's normal.
Live.
They're
So
only
that's coming from the
they're only
international-
orbiting.
400. I think it's 400 kilometers up.
Yeah, they're just that's orbit. That's where satellites sit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So the moon's orbiting
normal.
the Earth. It's a satellite of
satellite.
Earth.
no, because
Ooh.
first we're talking about
Dun,
right.
dun, dun, dun. Thank you, ladies and
40
gentlemen. I would have dropped my mic, but it's too expensive to drop.
Not
But
even
you don't-
40 years. We're
All
talking
right,
about 80 years ago, right?
Not 80 years ago.
No, it was about
60s,
1960s.
late 60s, 50 years ago.
Yeah, we're in 2020.
Okay, but the
50 years
technology that
Okay.
Late
d-
60s.
d- you know, by any standard, technology that the government has that we don't know about is always 25 to 30 years ahead.
Yeah, I don't know.
So 20 years ago, we did have cameras. We did. Well, 10 years ago, we did have mobile phones.
I just don't see how us human beings who have never been to one place before, we can come up with all these contingency plans of how we're going to avoid, say static and all these
Yeah,
natural
because they've
things that
sent
occur
they
Science.
in the most hospitable place, which is
Inhospitable
space.
space.
Yeah,
Inhospitable.
inhospitable. Sorry, and space is insane.
But the
Space is
Russians,
amazing.
but the Russians already went before that. Other satellites were sent before that.
Yeah,
They
but
did study it.
But the Russians didn't go out and say, "Look, we made a movie. We did this, we did that." They were humble. Oh yeah, look, we went
Okay,
up there.
so do you have a
we
problem with
sent
the humbleness or do you have a
we
problem
sent
with the science?
We sent a beam, and we got a signal back. Here it is. Yeah, I believe that. But okay, we got a full
But how
on
come?
production.
How
and
come? How come?
Here's some guys walking on the moon.
Okay, can I say something? How come the enemies of the US, the Russians or the Chinese now,
Yeah.
they've never debunked that?
And they're competing against it.
Yeah, there actually is a race for it.
The space race. All right, Irfan's question is, why have people not tried to go there? Because we've already been there. We
It's
haven't.
expensive. There's not much to get out of it.
But however, in the future, the plan is that the moon becomes a launching pad for expeditions to Mars.
That sounds like weapons to me.
Whatever it is, whatever it is. So what will happen is, because getting out of the Earth's orbit is so
Just wanted
expensive.
to get this out. You're not a flat earther, are you?
No.
Okay,
I
just
know- I know-
checking.
I know the Earth is
just
round.
get-
What do you mean, not a flat earther?
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Oh, you believe the Earth
Why
is
is it
carried?
a flat earther?
you believe it's like a pancake
what?
carried on the back of
The
a
Earth is
turtle,
round?
giant turtle?
Are you serious? Do you guys not believe the Earth is flat? Am I sitting with such unscientific people here? I've actually never met a flat earther.
Yeah, I don't think I met one. Yeah,
I know a brother who's a flat earther.
Talk to
Okay.
me.
You
Tell
both
me.
know him, but I won't say his name.
Oh no, you have to now.
No,
not
no,
on
not
this
a-
podcast.
Yeah.
However, later on, let me know. I need to know advice.
Geocentrism. You know, the Earth is center of the universe.
No, I don't.
There is
No,
debates.
that's me.
There is people who argue that the Earth is like the sun is actually
orbiting the Earth.
the sun and the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
about that.
with all of these things, from the
Yeah, but then from there
giving
you
the
go to-
benefit
you
of
go
the
to
doubt
the-
to those brothers who do, not brothers or people that just have those views.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of videos online about it, but there is one thing about it from a scientific perspective, because it's not there is as a simple person like we don't have access. We have to go by the consensus of the scientists because that's the safest place to be on regarding an issue. Experts of the field, because the idea that a large amount of people, experts of the field, can collude
for so long
and lie, and there's no dissenters really of the top, of these thinkers who are scientifically trying to find the truth, then it's unlikely. But on the other side, we have to go by their consensus, their expertise, which is something that we should take, like in medicine we take from doctors and so forth.
Yeah.
At the same time, also, people want to see it with their own eyes. So they want to, if any flat earth that you take out to space and they look back onto Earth and see it as a globe, flat earth, their whole thing,
their whole life has been a lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I think there.
So there's a guy that trying to do that. He built a rocket and he died. He actually was quite.
Because he wanted to take a photo of the flat Earth to prove his theory.
Yeah. So, but he got now that creates more.
But with all of
conspiracy around that he was killed.
Killed
him. He killed him. So that means
he was just a really bad rocket builder because his day job was a chef.
So the thing, what I'm saying is that because we don't have access to the direct experience of the phenomena, which is viewing the Earth from outside. That's what I was saying about the whole SpaceX things, that whole thing being pushed, but then it's been gone quiet again.
Yeah.
That they were trying to make like $200,000 ticket, which is more. You'll have more people. You'll have all these YouTubers, influencers going up immediately. Which would be good because at least those guys are unhinged a little bit and they're just full of nonsense. So for them, they will do some stupid challenge up in space, like
let's see how long you can hold your breath outside this rocket.
They'll do something stupid, but at least it'll legitimize because it'll be they're more like closer to the average person as opposed to scientists or astronauts.
But with all of these,
but it will legitimize a little because we have to go by the word and expertise of somebody else. For many people, that's not sufficient proof. Yeah. Right? And that's maybe like where they're going wrong. But you can understand where they're coming from. Unless they see themselves, seeing is believing, as I say. Mm-hmm. So maybe
so study science, study astronomy.
They won't study. These are not the type to study.
Well, that's my problem. That's where the problem is.
Well. Yeah, these are most of these people are
like the
ignoramuses.
It's like that guy holding the sign, 2021, no COVID deaths in Victoria. Yeah, because we're taking precautions.
Yeah, we've done well.
Yeah, if you really want to take that sign to the UK, see what happens.
Yeah.
Right, take that sign to South Africa, whatever. I mean, out of all of these conspiracy theories, though, the one where you'd go, okay, potential, for me, is the hollow earth theory.
Potential?
Like, okay, I get why you believe that there might be a secret entrance to the center.
Actually read it.
Okay, let me explain it. Somebody could come and say, look, there is a hollow earth because of X, Y, and Z. There is a secret entrance to the center of the earth, whatever. South Pole. And I'll be like, you know what? Okay, dude, you go with that.
There's a whole continent.
Whatever. But if someone comes to me with a flat earth theory, I just go, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Hollow earth, I'll be like, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Why hollow earth and not flat earth?
Because it's so obvious that the earth is not flat.
But isn't it so obvious that the earth is not hollow?
Depends how deep you go.
I mean, what about...
Depends how deep you go. So we've got mining and we are digging, but to a certain level.
What about all this lava that comes out of the ground? What about the magnetic poles?
Yeah, but the hollow earth goes beyond all of that. So there's a secret tunnel that goes into the center of the earth.
How?
Where the lava does not come in.
Come on, that doesn't make sense.
No, I don't believe it.
Don't
say how like I believe it.
Apparently
I'm sticking up for the hollow earthers right now.
Okay.
Because my point is, it's easier to stick up for a hollow earther than a flat earther.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Inside they have their own. There's a sun in the middle. At the core is a sun. Then the inside layer, I know you laugh.
Bro, you know what you need to do?
Inside of the earth, there is a whole continents. There's whole nations that live there.
YouTube Iron Sky too.
The UFOs that come, the UFOs that we see are like flying their airplanes. Somehow they got out through the hole.
But no, there is no hole because that's where Yajuj Majuj live.
Right. Yeah.
No, you heard it here, folks.
Well, I read in the book that because Yajuj Majuj are in the north beyond the sea of ice and so forth. But
there you go.
Yeah.
So how do we know the earth isn't hollow?
Yeah, there's many mysteries, I guess. But this one
He's
is
trying
not,
to placate
there's
me
no
right
proof.
now
But there's no
because
proof
this
for
is the
this.
craziness in my
So
head.
how do you even there's one guy supposed to have gone in the 1920s or whatever.
Yes.
He's the only guy who's going to come back.
Is this that pilot?
Yes, the pilot whose plane crashed or
No, his plane didn't crash. It just flew over something, and he
Yeah.
he
it
saw
was.
a hole.
and like the hundreds of thousands of airplanes and millions of airplanes since then have not.
But how do you know millions of airplanes have flown over there? It's too cold. They don't fly over there.
Okay, no one.
Yeah.
They don't actually fly over the
So
North
no
Pole.
one even
What a
checked.
coincidence! No one goes there.
Yeah,
See?
he sounds like the guy who made Scientology.
What's his name?
Hubbard.
Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, that's so fantastical story.
I just want to go back to
I
the
think
topic
we
of
need
space
to. The Masjid Carpark needs to go to the North Pole
or space.
or space.
So who was
Space
who
would be
was
cool.
trying to make that mission to the North Pole to see? Somebody famous. What's his name? There's a UFC fighter. I think he
Really?
Yeah,
To check if it's the hollow Earth theory is
to
real or not.
have a ship. Yeah, like an iceberg breaker, whatever it is, and he was trying to organize an expedition to go and to check it out for himself. You know,
But there you go. He wasn't able to.
huh?
I think was this before COVID, and then he couldn't go because of COVID, or
No. This is years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there are people like that, famous people like that.
Yeah.
But if you look at them, you're a UFC fighter. Maybe you got hit in the head too many times.
That's harsh.
Anyway, all right, call it a night.
Well, yep. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Walaikum salam.
Have an awesome night, and please, thank you for joining us. Please subscribe, like, and press the bell icon. If you have any comments, any interesting theories, hollow Earth, flat Earth, round Earth, put that in the comment section below. Have a good night.